Welcome to the presentation on the Cinderella solution in developing global leaders. First of all, let me thank Anil and the team of organizers for the introduction and also for the invitation to address the gathering today. Let me start off with a small story. By raise of hands, how many of you are married? MBA. How many of you are MBA? I asked how many of you are MBA, not have an MBA. Married but available. Never mind. Alright, one more time. How many of you are married? Kids. If you got kids, keep your hands raised. Daughters. Within the age of 5 and 10. Alright, so we got some people who will be able to very easily relate to this particular story. For the others, I'd like to request you to imagine that you are married. You have a darling wife, a daughter who's about 8 years old. Now, for the gentlemen here, this is going to be an easy task. So for the ladies, it's going to be a little bit more tougher because you're going to have to imagine that you're the gentleman in this story. Imagine a situation where you are seated at the breakfast table today morning. The previous day, you've gone out and bought yourself a brand new white shirt because you have a very important meeting with the board of directors. You've got to pitch a particular presentation, and if you do this perfectly well, chances are that you might get a promotion. So you're all excited, you're all nervous, you're seated at the breakfast table, you're having your breakfast. Your darling wife is seated in front of you, and your darling daughter is seated next to you. You may have heard the story where the daughter, as you know, little girls can't keep their hands to themselves, accidentally knocks a hot cup of coffee straight onto you. Falls on your brand new white shirt. Hot cup of coffee. What would you do? What would you do? Scream, shout. You take a step back. You turn to her and say, what did you do? You should have been a little bit more careful. Now, when you say that to your little daughter, what does she do? You know, she would be looking at you like this, and then suddenly she goes, she starts crying. Now, when she starts crying, as a father, can you continue to scold her? No. But you still have that anger inside you. So who do you turn to? Exactly, your darling wife. You turn to her and say, you should have been a little bit more careful. You should not have kept this coffee at the edge of the table. Now, for those of you who are married, you will also know that your darling wife will respond to that by saying, yes, darling, it's all my fault. I should not have done that. Yeah, right. That's not going to happen. So your darling wife responds to it by saying, what do you mean I should have been a little bit more careful? If you helped me around the house a little bit, this would not have happened. Can you remember 7 years ago something like this happened? You can't remember what happened 7 minutes ago. She's bringing up something that happened 7 years ago. And the fight goes on. And whilst this argument is going, your little daughter is crying even harder because nobody is listening to her. So suddenly you decide that, once again, if you're married, you will know this, that you can never win an argument with your wife. Anything you say at the end of that argument is the beginning of the next one. Therefore, you decide, okay, I'm going to go change into a different shirt and move on. So you go upstairs, get into another white shirt, you go downstairs just in time to see the school van go by. And your wife had been in the kitchen, nobody put the daughter into the school van. Now you got to take the daughter to school, which is on that side of town, and then drive back to office, which is on that side of town. So you take your daughter, you collect the bags, everything, and you drive. The traffic light turns from green, amber, red. You step on the... No, not the brakes, accelerator, yes. You're late, you want to go quickly, you step on the accelerator, you go through the light, and from behind the tree, who jumps out? Your friendly neighborhood policeman. Says, stop, stop, stop. So you stop, and then he comes up to you and asks, sir, did you not see the red light? You respond by saying, I saw the red light, sir, but I did not see you.